Today, let's go through one of the foundations for calisthenics for bodyweight strength. Let's go through the chest to bar chin up. So the goal will be from a hanging position, pull yourself up until your chest touches the bar. Before we get started, I want to go through a little secret. I was cheating there. I'm not actually doing the proper movement. My flexibility in the top position is not great, so I struggle to get the chest to touch the bar unless I do a little cheat. So what I'm actually doing, instead of wrapping the thumb around the bar like this, so watch what happens now if I wrap the thumb. See, I have a gap here. I can't get all the way to the top unless I use a bit of momentum. So I'm cheating and making it easier for myself by cupping the hands over the top and not actually wrapping the thumb around it. It's more to do with my flexibility. Way too many handstands, not enough pulling movements, but I'm lucky and it doesn't stop me getting strict ring muscle ups and things like that. So first of all, I recommend you do a test. See where you're at in terms of your chin up. So grab hold of the bar, around shoulder width apart, hang, and then just see if you can pull up. See what happens. Video yourself and see how close you get to the movement. Then we can break the movement down. Let's first look at the scapula. So what are the shoulder blades doing in the bottom part of the movement? So we're going to go into a passive hang. So I'm going to hold onto the bar and just hang in this position. So in this position, I'm not even thinking about my shoulder blades. I'm just letting my body hang as much as I can. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my arms straight and just pull up. So I'm retracting the shoulder blades. I'm pulling the shoulder blades backwards and depressing them, so pulling them down a little bit as well. Basically, I'm just trying to take myself as high as I can without bending the arms, and then I drop back down again. So we need to make sure that we have the mobility in the scapula to do that. Next, I want to isolate the top part. So I want to get my chest against this bar and see if I can hold there for some time. Now I've got a couple of ways of doing that. Obviously I can't get up there if I can't do a chin up yet. So option number one is to use the squat rack. I could put a bar across this and now I can mimic that top position. But my preference and the ideal way of doing it would be to do it on this bar because I'll be able to add the eccentric to the movement as well and the floor doesn't get in the way. So I'm going to use a box to get up to the correct height. So now if I open the chest, I can get the chest to touch the bar and I've still got that full grip. Now I want to see if I can decrease weight out of my toes. I could lift the toes off completely. Now that's really challenging for me unless I cup that thumb in that position. So now I can hold here for quite a bit of time. But I personally should work the wrapped thumb position and work on that weakness in that position. Now I recommend you work up to 30 seconds in this position, just holding there. Obviously decrease the amount of assistance as you get more comfortable with it. Next we can look at the next part of the chin up. We can look at the eccentric, the down phase only. Now everyone is stronger at the eccentric than they are at the concentric. So it's worth just testing what sort of control you have. So we're going to start in that top position, have your chest against the bar. Step off, ideally hold, and then slowly lower with as much control as you have. Now they say if you can do this for 30 seconds, you have the strength to do the concentric. Now obviously that's a little bit false because if you never practice the concentric movement and going up, then you're basically working it in the wrong direction. So yes, the eccentric is fantastic, but we also want to be doing some work for the concentric while we're building the strength to do the full reps. So we have that scapular movement at the bottom. We have the hold at the top, we have the slow eccentric, and then we can look at some assistance exercises to make it slightly easier to do the up and even the down if you struggled with going slow on that one. So now we have a few choices. I could do this one, stand underneath, have toe assist on a box, just to give me enough on the way up and on the way down. So I'm trying to keep this toe really light on this box and just using it when I need to. I can have someone spot me, so holding either underneath your back or underneath your feet if your feet are behind you like this, and just giving you enough to get the repetition range that you're aiming for. But remember with that one, you should be able to do more by yourself on the eccentric and just have the help more on the concentric. And then a common one is to use bands. Now obviously the amount of bands you use, so you could double them up, the thickness of the band makes a difference. So you'll have to play around to find the one that works best for you. The band's gonna help you most at the bottom. Now you can see the setup that I've got here isn't great because I've stepped into the band and I'm on the floor. So if I had a higher pull-up bar, I could stand on a box and stand off the edge when I went into it. And you have to be careful with the bands that this doesn't happen and your feet go out in front. So you want to sort of tread into the band as you use it and get it to push you up towards the bar. You could also play around with partial range. So either starting in the top position here, coming down halfway and then going back up again. You could play around with tempos and range of motion with that one. So there is a few different options, but I'd make sure that you're training something that gets you through that full range of motion. So normally the eccentric, get a lot of hold time in the top, and working that thoracic and chest mobility as well will make a massive difference. And for me, my hand, wrist and forearm mobility. And then I'll be working some sort of concentric, either with the bands or with the step or with the spotter. Put that all together, slowly decrease the assistance, and then you should have your chin up pretty quickly. I'd try and stay within the 5 to 8 repetition range and then work around towards that 30-second time under tension per set. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions. Thumbs up and subscribe would be appreciated. Check out my website if you're interested in any coaching, www.paultwyman.com.au, and I'll speak to you next time. Thanks, guys.